Hey Wolfpack, my name is Mark Donez. I teach world history at Ridgeview High School, and today we're going to show you how to set up a Zoom account and how to set up your first Zoom video conference. So, without further ado, let me get rid of my ugly mug and let's go ahead and bring up the important stuff, and that's going to be Zoom. When you go to the Zoom website, the homepage is going to look like this. It can be overwhelming at first, but ultimately, when you're looking at this, you're going to want to go to the top right-hand corner and you want to click on the blue button that says sign up. It's free. We all like free, and you're really going to like the free Zoom account that they are going to provide to you. When you click on this, you have a few different options on how to create an account. You can enter your work email right here. You can sign in with Facebook down here. I'm going to recommend that you sign in with Google. Since your work email is linked to your Google account already, it's pretty seamless and it's pretty easy to set up. All you have to do is click on it. It'll walk you through how to go through it from there. Since I already have an account, I'm not going to be able to show you how to go through those steps, but they're pretty self-explanatory in asking you just to link your Google and work account with the Zoom account. Once you get that taken care of, it's going to take you to this page right here. Now, when you first get here, this can seem pretty overwhelming just with the amount of options that you can click on. But don't worry, you're only going to be using a few of these buttons, especially towards the beginning. And for today, I'm going to show you how to schedule a meeting. If you go up here to the top right-hand corner, you'll see schedule a meeting, join a meeting, and host a meeting. Now, if you're just working off the fly, and you just want to set up a meeting right then and there, by all means, you are able to host a meeting with the video on. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to a page that's going to ask you to download the application. You'll be able to do that by clicking allow. And since I have that already downloaded, I have Zoom right here. Now, a lot of us are not going to be just creating a Zoom video conference off the fly. So let me show you how you'll be setting up and scheduling a meeting instead. That's going to come when you go back to your Zoom website. And when you go back to your Zoom website and you have your account, you're going to be able to schedule a meeting right up here. When you schedule that meeting, it's going to walk you through how you're going to schedule that meeting. Everything from the topic to what time you want to host your meeting to a couple of other options that you have as far as how you want your meeting to run. So the first thing you need to come up with is your topic. For me, I try to put in the class that I'm teaching that day or that I'm hosting a video conference with. So for me, I can write something as simple as World History, period 3. Now, if you wanted to add a description to that, by all means, you can do that. I'm going to leave this a little blank for the time being. That way I can get to some of the more important things. As you scroll down, you'll be able to host your meeting and schedule your meeting whenever you want. Now, today is currently March 24th, and it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. So I'm going to schedule my meeting for 12:45. Excuse me, I'm going to schedule it for 12:30. So I'll schedule it for 12:30 p.m., and I'll make it last for about 2 hours. You do have the options here if you want to create recurring meetings, meaning on every day, weekly, month, whatever you want. But for the time being, I'm just going to show you how to schedule a meeting and only a single meeting. Your meeting ID, I always recommend that you generate it automatically. I don't usually require students to have a password to enter our video conference meeting, so I'll leave that blank. However, if that is something that appeals to you, by all means, you will be able to create your own password there. For the videos here, it says on and off for both the host as well as the participant. All this means is this: whenever you start your video conference, if you have it checked for off, that means the video is off when they join the conference and they have to physically start to video once they get inside the conference room. You can just create an option for them to have the video already going on its own. They won't have to really set anything up by clicking on. But me personally, I usually like to have the video off when they come in and they have to physically turn on their cameras themselves. For their audio, you can give them the option where they can use their phones, or they can use their computer audio, or they can do both. Since most of our students have both phones and computers, and they can differ on which medium they want to use when they enter a conference room, I like to set mine at both. Down here, you have a couple more meeting options. Now, you can mute participants upon entry. I usually like doing this only because it kind of limits some of the chaos. Think of it like the kids coming into class. They see their friends, they're excited, they're talking a little bit. When you mute them upon entry, it's quiet when they come in and they have to physically hit their buttons, their mute buttons or unmute buttons, in order for everyone to hear what they are saying. You can also enable a waiting room, meaning since you are the host, as the kids are waiting to get into your video conference, you have to physically hit the button to let them into the conference room. And then you can record the meeting automatically on your computer. So I go ahead and I save this, and it generates your meeting. So this is what it looks like right here. World History Period 3. It's going to take place at 12:30 on March 24th. And your options that you can still change during the actual meeting. Now for me, I like copying this invitation. And when you copy the invitation, it sets it all up for you. Mark Donez is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting. The topic is on World History Period 3. It'll be at 12:30. I copy this and I usually paste it into my Google Classroom. When I paste it into my Google Classroom, students are just able to click on this link right here, the zoom.us/j/25008340, and it takes them straight to the video conference. It's very easy to schedule. It's very easy to go from there. And typically the students are able to join using their phones or their computers. So once I've set that up, I'm then able to log in. I'm just going to copy this address, and as if I'm one of the kids, type in the web address. And ultimately, it will take me to the meeting room, and I'm able to join with computer audio, and I click yes for this, and you're in the room. Now, because of some of the options we created, we now have the ability to create and start our meeting. So there I am right there. Kind of a scary shot, but this is what we have, right? This is the meeting space that we have right here. And down at the bottom, you'll see all of the different options that we'll be able to do. Now, most of the kids will be joining in because you did share that URL with them. If someone is missing, if there's someone you wanted to add, you'll be able to go down here and you'll be able to hit invite. Now, when you hit invite, you're able to search your contacts, but more normally, you're probably going to be sending an email, whether it's a default email, Gmail, Yahoo, or again, you can just copy the URL again and send that directly to the students. Throughout the entire video conference, you're going to have options. Now, you're going to be able to mute your audio. All you have to do is click mute. And if you're working from a computer, you will be able to just hit the space bar and you'll see down at the bottom, temporarily unmuted, and then let go of the space bar when you want it to be muted again. Your video, you can also have the ability to stop your video. As you just saw me hit the button right there. Maybe you need to go to the potty. Maybe you have a crying child that needs to be tended to. Life happens. So you're able just to stop that video and your name or maybe some sort of picture you've put into the Zoom account will pop up instead. We went over invite. We have managing our participants. With our participants, since I'm the only one right now, you're able to go through and you'll have a list of names right here. And that list of names, you'll be able to mute those individuals, or you have some options here too. You can edit their profile picture. You can rename them. Just some cosmetic things that you might want to do while you're inside of Zoom. Screen sharing is probably going to be the coolest thing that you use while you're using Zoom video conferencing. You have a lot of really cool things that you can use here. So if I click on this option, you'll see we have the actual Zoom application being used right here. You can also get something from your iPad, your iPhone via AirPlay. You also have the option of using what I think is the coolest part, and that's Whiteboard. So I click on Whiteboard and I click Share, and it has all of these really cool options that you can use just like you have a whiteboard in your classroom. So I'm just gonna write some random things, go Wolfpack. That's not our school colors, but oh well. Go ahead and change that to the purple. There we go. If I wanted to erase that, I can do that. Maybe I wanted to add some arrows somewhere. We can do that. Simply draw some things. This is something that's really cool, especially from a teacher point of view. If you're trying to share some information with your kids, if you're trying to show a particular equation from a math class or whatever it is, you have that option of a whiteboard just like you were in the classroom. It's pretty simple to stop sharing. Towards the top, it'll say stop sharing. And there you go. You come right back to me. Now, when you're sharing, you have options here as well as who you want to share, one participant at a time. Maybe multiple people can share something simultaneously. That's something that's going to be up to you. One of the cooler things that Zoom has is this chat option right here. Now, I'm the only one in the room right now, but you are able to create this chat. And on the right-hand side, you can go ahead and chat with different people from the room. I'm going to zoom over here really quick, and I'm going to show you that you can send your chats to a lot of different people, or you can send it to individuals. You're going to have that option right in here. Now, since you're the host, you'll be able to dictate who can chat and who they can chat with. So you can say, no, I don't want a chat room, and that's fine. That's your prerogative, and you can set up no chat. You can be the only one to add to the chat room. You would click on host only. Everyone can chat. You would click on everyone publicly, or you can have the default setting, which is everyone publicly and privately chats. So that means everyone in the room could participate in the chat, but everyone in the room could also chat privately with someone who was also in the room. Think of it along the lines of this. You're inside your classroom, you're teaching, and someone sitting on the right side of your classroom decides to send a text to someone on the left side of your classroom. That would be some private conversation going on there. So again, you have those options when it comes to Zoom. Now I'm going to get out of the chat option right here. The number one thing I'm going to recommend to everyone when they're on Zoom is to click the record button. When you record, you are able to save every single word that is spoken, every single video that is shown, everything that's going on within your video conference. It's recorded, and it's going to create a link at the end when you are done recording, and you'll be able to use that link to post it on Google Classroom or whatever type of medium where you want to share it with your students. So if a student can't make it at that particular time to your Zoom meeting, or they want to re-watch something about some math equation that you talked about earlier, they will have that option, and you'll be able to share that with them right after the end of your Zoom meeting. So it's recording right now. I'm going to stop that recording for the time being. Some fun stuff too. You have some reactions, a round of applause emoji, a thumbs up emoji, just ways for the kids to interact with you as well as their peers. Now, when you're inside the managing participants, you'll be able to mute, but when there's other people in here, you'll be able to digitally raise your hand if someone has a question or if anyone wants to participate in a particular discussion. There's a lot to learn with Zoom, and I understand that it can feel overwhelming at the beginning, but please, by all means, do not feel overwhelmed by this. This is a great piece of technology that's going to help us reach our students. It's going to help us become better teachers. And I highly encourage all of you just to play with it, to get on and to make some mistakes with it. I've made plenty of mistakes using Zoom, and I probably will in the future. But moving forward, this is going to be one of the best platforms to use to further reach Ridgeview students and just students in general during this time of quarantine.